回向品，我们遇到这个问题，这问题是，说，菩萨在这个地步呢，有这种的境界，他所行所做的，是不是有业了？那个业是不是落到他的身上？那个问题是很深的，就是很基本的问题。因果的道理呢，是我们佛法的一个基本的原则。可是呢，《华严经》就这么说，没有业了那怎么讲呢？所以我就提这个问题，然后我自己研究，我就觉得，我所了解的，我从我的口出来的，不能马虎，要说得很准。可是呢，华严经这个境界是已经到第六步，第六步是什么呢？第六步就是应该说第六行在十行品呢，第六回向是我们现在讲的，第六地就是在十地品，这是什么？这是等于般若波罗蜜的第六步。我们说六度万行，是不是六度六波罗蜜？第六呢就是般若。那么修行人修到这个地步呢，他呢已经有这个两种的这个地，有全地有实地。究竟的道理呢，就是佛的智慧现在已经开了，所以呢他的清醒跟我们现在在所谓在二法里边 duality 里边，他的境界他所懂的不一样，他对于身体不一样，他能用方便智慧教化众生，所以我们要讲的我们要明白是怎么一回事呢，已经不一样了所以呢我们就要讲得清楚，让我们继续讲这个第六回向回来讲的详细。Okay, now Sheila is here. We are ready to request Dharma. I'm going to ring the bell 3 times, and then we'll ask Sheila to please request Dharma. 我要敲请三次，然后呢，我们三文心理，然后我们请 Sheila 来请法。好。First bow, second bow, and third bow. All right, Sheila, if you want to request Dharma, please go ahead, do it now.
恭敬大德僧听，为此法会，济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye olahudi sanmyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi sanmyao samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All right, Sheila, thank you so much for the Dharma request. I'll be happy to comply, and we will now begin. 我们就说，我们继续殷勤华严海会佛菩萨，还有天龙八部护法神圣莅临道场，祝福各位。We're now going to request the presence of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Avatamsaka Assembly and the gods, the dragons, the Eightfold Pantheon of spiritual beings to draw near and to take part in our Dharma assembly and to shed their light and bless all of you. Here we go. Furthermore, we want to say that the Pomo people practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here in Mendocino County on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years, and today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就是说，婆摩人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系已有数万年。今天我们承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，并且向他们过去、现在和新兴的长老们表示敬意，以及主权所谓让所有第一民族人民们表示敬意。And we move forward through different places where these lectures take place. And say or sing. The bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sound that everywhere fills the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，功勋其法界和平，利益 报他的厚德。Here we go. Now, let's take a look. Let's go directly into our Ten Transferences chapter and see what's going on. Okay.愿意合掌的人可以合掌。佛子、菩萨摩诃萨如是回向时，不照内，不照外，不照能缘，不照所缘，不照因，不照果，不照法，不照非法，不照思，不照非思，不照色，不照非色，不照不照色，不照色生，不照色灭，不照受行想思，不照受行想思生，不照受行想思灭。Disciples of the Buddha, when bodhisattvas, mahasattvas make dedications like this, they don't attach to what is internal, nor what is external. They don't attach to the perceiver or the perceived. They don't attach to cause and effect. They don't attach to phenomena or the absence of phenomena. They don't attach to thoughts or the absence of thoughts. They don't attach to form, to the arising of form, to the perishing of form. They don't attach to sense perception, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness, nor to the arising of sense perceptions, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness, nor to the perishing of sense perceptions, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness. What is this? We're continuing. We're continuing to the state of mind of somebody who transfers merit at the sixth step of practicing this transference dharma. Now, let's stop just a sec. And can you all see here? I'm going to put on my speaker view. There we go. There I am. Okay. So what is this? I want people to remember what is transference and how is it taught in the Avatamsaka. This is number 10 out of 10 practices that the expert in Bodhisattva practices, whose name is Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, that he recommends and teaches. And the 10th step, last step, has the perspective of all the previous 9 steps. And it's the, according to Master Chengguan Qingliang Guoshi, National Master Qingliang, who is also known as Avatamsaka Bodhisattva, which means he's an expert in the Avatamsaka Sutra. He says if you got rid of 7 out of 10 practices and only kept 3, you could still have the power of all 10, the effect, the function, the effect of all 10. And of those 3, number 10 is the third one. So super, super important practice to understand. And here in our, the 10 Transferences chapter is just a long series of explorations on how to do it, how to practice this. And the thing about the 10th transference, this practice of dedication of merit, is it is extremely portable. Anyone can. You don't need special equipment or certifications. You just go ahead, use your mind and give. Be generous with your thoughts. And if you can do that, you are practicing transference of merit. But here, on this number 6, we're getting a deep, deep psychological interpretation of the practice of transference. That's what's going on here. And so this is really rich in detail about how to, what actually goes on in the human mind when we give with our thoughts. This is called the giving of Dharma. And the sutra says, important, pay attention here. 各位要注意哈，这个回向的法门有一位菩萨，普贤菩萨，他是华严经的上首，他呢在佛法里边，他管理所有修行的方法，他是专家。大恒普贤王菩萨。 他有10种行为，10种行门，说是最重要。他说如果能这样做，肯定会就成佛，经过菩萨道就成佛。这10种呢，第10最后一个就是回向。那么回向呢，这个法，有另外一个专家，这个专家叫清凉果师，他是所谓华严菩萨，唐朝的法师。他说，如果把普贤菩萨的10个行门，把它整理，到最后剩下有3个行为，3个行门呢，他们还在这个普贤菩萨的10大愿望的功用还在，3个都包括回向，第10个。那么10回向品呢，就是很详细的研究如何行这个行门，怎么样行回向的法门。这个10回向品在华严经里边，这一品比较长，不是最短的，也不是最长的，是其中最长的，就是长的。10个详细的方向在驱入这个法门，告诉我们怎么样把它变成自己的行门。这个回向法呢，有一个特点是什么呢？是可以提动的 ，portable， 可以随身带着，不必有什么特别的资格了，没有什么水准你才会用呢，你不必去考试啊，才有资格来行这个法门。这个法门呢是很轻松的，就用自己的心。当然，如果你会用，那就可以它的作用更有力量，更准确回向。不过呢，第一次各位我什么人就说我愿意回向这个法，你就可以了你就用心做布施，所谓法布施就是这个法门。OK， 那我们现在呢，到这个第6回向的最后几步呢，最后几页，就是讲的很详细。我们回向行这个法门的时候，在心里边，人的心里边，不一定是需要菩萨的心，就是你自己个人的心里边，它的作用怎么样？它的效果在我们的心里边有什么效果？这样子 ，OK， 好，那么 let's take a look. So when bodhisattvas, mahasattvas make dedications like this, they don't attach to anything inside or outside. They don't attach to anybody who sees the practice or anybody who receives the practice. They cause and effect, they're not attached to it. They don't violate it either. They're not apart from it. There's no dharma happening. There's no absence of dharma. There's no thoughts going on as they do it, and there's no absence of thoughts either. Does that make sense? Can you follow that? Body, they don't care about it. Bodies arising or going away, that's not significant in the transference. They don't attach to forms, feelings, the skandhas. It's not a physical dharma. Dedication of merit. The merit that you make is a physical dharma. The doing of the transference doesn't rely upon being young or old, male, female, whatever dharma realm. Doesn't matter. These are the 5 skandhas. They don't have to be one way or the other, and you can still transfer perfectly. 菩萨摩诃萨回向的时候，外在内在不执着了那个能言所言，他行回向或者受回向没有关系了。这个因含果他不执着，这不是说胡料，他不在因果的范围外，可是他不执着，他不停留在那里。那么法呢，非法都没有关系了，他还要用心做，不叫思，不叫非思， 这不是思量的这个范围，不照色不照受想行识五蕴都不限制它的回向。回向的时候不是身体的法，当然在修行积功积德就是种福的时候，那是身体一定要属于。可是呢，到回向的时候，不是单单在身上，就可以在心里边。所以在轮椅都可以回向，在飞机都可以回向，吃饭的时候都可以回向，就是行路的时候都可以回向。All right, okay, got it? Moving forward, right down to there. Let's do the whole page. Here we go. Ready? 佛子菩萨摩诃萨，若能于此诸法不着，再不复色，不复色生，不复色灭，不复受想行识，不复受想行识生，不复受想行识灭。若能于此诸法不服，自亦于诸法不解。何以故？无有少法，若现生，若已生，若当生，无法可取，无法可找。一切诸法自相如是，无有自性，自性相离，非一，非二，非多，非无量，非小，非大，非狭，非广，非深，非浅，非激进，非细论，非处，非非处，非法，非非法，非体，非非体，非有，亦非有，非有，非非有。Okay, there we go. I love it. Here we go. Disciples of the Buddha, if bodhisattvas, mahasattvas can free themselves from attachment to phenomena such as these, they will not be bound by form, the arising of form, the perishing of form. They will not be bound by sense perception, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness. The arising of sense perception, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness, or the perishing of sense perception, cognition, mental formations, or consciousness. If they can free themselves from the bondage of such phenomena, they will then free themselves from liberation from the bondage of all phenomena. And why? Because there is not the slightest phenomena that arises, has arisen, or will arise. There are no phenomena to grasp or cling to. Such are the inherent attributes of all phenomena. They have no inherent existence of their own, yet in their inherent existence, all their attributes are independent of one another. They are not one, not two, not many, not infinitely many, not small, not big, not confined, not vast, not deep, not shallow, not tranquil, not discursive, not abiding, not apart from abiding, not phenomenal, not apart from phenomenal, not noumenal, not apart from innoumenal, not of existence, nor apart from existence. Okay, what are we talking about? We're talking about the mind and dharmas. Now, just quickly point to one aspect that I want folks to pay attention to. They say there are, when you become an arhat, you have emptied out the self, that central ghost in the machine that operates every aspect. It kind of dominates every aspect of our lives. I want this, I don't want this. I like this, I don't like this. That has been emptied out. And you are liberated from that, the bondage of the self. Bodhisattvas do that, but they also empty out dharmas that the arhat does not. Here, in this section of the 10 Transferences, 6th transference, we see what that means, to empty out dharmas. This is all about how the bodhisattva moves through the world, moves through reality, and is able to manifest these transformed bodies because of the quality of their samadhi, and also the precepts that they follow. So look at this liberation. Look how free you would be to do what? to transfer merit. If nothing blocks you. Okay, let's go down, let's look through it, and then remember why this is important. It has to do with transference. 各位知道哈，那个所谓二乘，那个罗汉，他得到解脱了，入一种涅槃，没有错。他呢，把我空了。这个我相我见，这个是我们一般人最大的障碍物。虽然是积极的制造的一个我，可是那个我就挡住我们。我喜欢那个，我不喜欢这个；我要那个，我不要这个。你看，一切都是为我而做。那个罗汉呢，他已经看空放下，不执着了。杀我，就没有关系了。赞叹我也没关系，八方垂不动，真的那种解脱了不容易。可是呢，菩萨的解脱了，他没办法。菩萨什么解脱呢？不但我空，而且呢，法空。什么叫法空呢？就在这里，这就是法空。为什么华严经要告诉我们菩萨的境界呢？能空法呢？因为他愿意行回向，这就是在修这个回向法门的范围。那个 context 就是在把这个回向的法门修得圆满，是不是？所以呢，要修圆满的话，他就什么都不执着了，他就是说不着不服。这个已经解脱了，福就是说绑起来了，这不是障碍了，所以呢，色、受、想、行、识五蕴呢，现在他回向的时候不执着这些个，所以呢，他回向的力量会透过，就跟众生结善缘然后呢，就说无有少法，若现生，若已生，若当生，无法可取，无法可着。真的在这种的空就自在，他现在解脱了，一切诸法自相如是，这就叫法空了然后详细讲什么呢？非一，非二，非多，非无量。非小非大，非狭非广，种种的，就说用言字、用思想来解释、来形容，都不是，都不限制菩萨他的回向。所以呢，他回向的效量现在真的非常准，而且广大。All right, now what has he done? This, as I said, the Arhat empties the self. Bodhisattva empties dharmas. This is what that means. This is what it's like to empty dharmas. It says you're not attached to dharmas. So form, senses, cognition, mental formations of consciousness, all the five skandhas don't obstruct the bodhisattva as he transfers merit. All of this is taught in the context of dedicating merit. So you can see how effective this bodhisattva's dedication of merit is. For us, just like use a form to show the shadow, right? To give us a sense of what's at stake here. When we transfer merit, what do we think? Well, transfer merit to my friends, my family, my parents. I don't want them to get any benefit because the stronger they get, the worse we are, like win and lose, friend and foe, parties, cliques. That's ordinary folks. Our world is really hemmed in duality, likes and dislikes, desires and their opposite, seeking pleasure, running from pain, etc. So because of that, our transference is not insignificant, but it's not what it could be if we had the Bodhisattva's clarity, right? So this is incredible description of how, because the Bodhisattva has in his or her samadhi, have bit by bit emptied out all of the things that block us, So emptying out dharmas, this transference goes so far and reaches so many living beings. So this bodhisattva's vows can be realized. Now this makes sense. Look at this. The slightest dharma that arises, has arisen or will arise, doesn't cling to it, doesn't grasp it, doesn't want it, doesn't reject it. So these are the inherent attributes of all phenomena. That's 75-cent language. That's 3 bits language. The inherent attributes of all phenomena. What is it? That's what stuff is like. This is the nature of reality. What is the nature of reality? That has no inherent existence. And what are they not? They are not one, two, many, infinitely many, small, big, confined, vast, deep, shallow, tranquil, etc. All these dharmas don't stop the bodhisattva's transference of merit. Motivated by what? Ultimately motivated by kindness and compassion. 菩萨如是观察诸法，此为非法，欲言语中随事建立非法为法，不断诸业道，不舍菩萨行，求以切之，终无退转。Thus do bodhisattvas contemplate phenomena as intrinsically empty. Following worldly convention, they speak of phenomena which are intrinsically empty as being substantial. Not refraining from creating karma or forsaking bodhisattva practices, they seek omniscient wisdom without ever retreating. Oh man, this is, we're going to be trying to explain this in terms of reality. We chase our tail. Why? This is talking about the bodhisattva's reality, which now has another entire dimension to it. It's if the bodhisattva's cultivation was a house, we've just opened an entire new wing of the mansion, or an entire new depth to the basement, or an entire new suite for the penthouse. So for us, with our limited dimension, to be able to describe this adequately, can't. It's really tough. You have to keep saying, well, but the bodhisattva now sees ultimate reality. So provisional reality, it's really tough to say. Bodhisattvas contemplate dharmas as empty, but in order to teach us, they have to pretend. Is it pretending? That's the problem here. For them, is it real, or is it just an act? Is it a play? Is it a dream? Right? It's just like the Vajra Sutra, which is all about that 6th step. The Vajra Sutra's famous verse says, all conditioned dharmas are like Meng Huan Pao Ying Ru Lu Yi Ru Dian. All conditioned things in the world, all phenomena, are like dreams, like bubbles, like dew, like lightning drops, like illusions. Meng Huan Pao Ying Ru Lu Yi Ru Dian, like a flash of lightning. Contemplate them this way. That's how the bodhisattva does contemplate them. And just for us, even though he knows they are empty, he talks about them as being genuine. And he goes ahead and does things, creating karma, doesn't stop cultivating in the world and playing guitars. What else? Bodhisattva goes to places, the Bodhisattva goes to Las Vegas. The Bodhisattva goes to Washington, D.C., of all evil places, and does things, but with his wisdom now, with her wisdom now, they continue to cultivate seeking Buddhahood, because they're not Buddhists, they're still Bodhisattvas. They still do what has to be done to teach living beings, but somewhere in there, their depth of their wisdom and their purity of precepts allows them to function without collecting the karma that would accumulate on someone who was still bound up in ignorance. That's where it gets really hard to explain, because the state is the state of an awakened being, right? Not like us. 好了，那么菩萨他们观察诸法，就像这个心经说的，如梦幻泡影，如露亦如电。他们知道万法皆空，因为因缘生， 因为因缘灭呢，所以呢，他们现在对于万法就跟我们看到这个实际 reality 就不一样了。他们知道本来因缘生把界空了，可是呢，因为就在菩萨道发愿度众生，所以呢，他们必须要于语言中随事监理非法违法。他们还在跟我们旁边，跟我们一起，就所行所做的都照常就说穿鞋子去上班不断住业道，不舍菩萨行。就在我们隔壁呢，用这个不施爱于同行就说用这个四摄法，就说立事立行，就说跟我们一起不施爱于同事善立行，在那儿为度我们，就这样做。他们所做的这个业呢，是不是还落到他们的身上呢？我们不敢说有没有，为什么呢？我们不是菩萨，他们我说《金刚经》，对了，谢谢，《金刚经》不是《心经》，《心经》是不生不灭，不垢不净，不增不减。对了，就是《金刚经》，就像《金刚经》所说的那个四句偈颂。菩萨呢，在这里呢，他们就你看不出来是菩萨做的，可是他因为他的戒品清净，因为他的三昧，就通过空法空我因为他们的智慧现在能引用方便智，所以跟我们不一样所以他们就可以，如果他们已经成佛了他们就停止。可是呢，他们还没有成佛，还没有度完他们要度的众生，所以呢，求以切智，终无退转。OK， 哇，你看菩萨的境界多么伟大。So look at the state of the Bodhisattva. How incredible is this? That, and how complicated, right? And yet, as I said previously, it all arises from compassion, which is feeling the pain that others feel and wanting to put an end to it. 虽然菩萨道是这么微细这么伟大呢，都是从一个慈悲心而开始。就因为菩萨知道众生在这受苦，他已经不苦，所以他愿意帮我们拔出来，让我们拔出来我们从那个苦海里边，所以呢，就愿意经过这种很微妙的这个道。All right, okay, we'll continue. Look at, there's more. Here's talk about 金刚经。你看《金刚经》就是梦，就是想就是影所以我们就说《华严经》是最大的大乘经典，包括般若大法在内。Take a look. Here is the actual language from the Vasu Sutra, and we say that the Avatamsaka is the largest of Mahayana sutras, not the longest, but the largest because it does contain the Dharma of Prajna Paramita, Poro Mido. All right, now the time has come for us to move on to the other half of our program every week, which is sharing with everybody the biography of Master Shenzong. And this biography is so moving it's a real story. It's a story of a real, let's see, okay, let's see here. Yeah, I will end, let's see, you bet I will. Okay, so let's dig into it. To say this biography is so powerful because it's a true story. It's a story of a genuine individual who practiced like a bodhisattva. And there we go, we'll close that for now. What a great man he was indeed. Okay, so I'm going to put the two of them side by side. Ready? Okay, 我们就研究这个玄奘大师他去印度取经他的故事真的是有这么一个法大心的比丘，真的是中国文化的这个伟大。Here we go. 自时孑然古有沙漠矣，委望古去，马粪等监禁。清间忽有军众数百队，满沙期间，诈行诈止，皆求和驮马之相，即旌旗硕道之行，衣帽仪直，疏忽千变，摇战击招，渐进而为。法师出堵，未为贼众，渐进渐灭，乃至妖鬼。又问空中声言：勿怖，勿怖，由此消安。Okay, here we go. After that, the master traveled alone in the desert, proceeding slowly along the trail marked by skeletons and horse droppings. Shortly afterwards, he saw an army of several hundred men scattered all over the desert, moving forward or halting for a while. They were dressed in furs or coarse cloth, and their camels and horses, as well as banners, flags, and spears, kept on changing their shapes every moment. They were quite clear at a distance, but gradually disappeared as they approached. At first sight, the master thought them to be bandits, but as they faded away when they came nearer, he realized that they were bogies and demons. He heard a voice in the air saying, "Have no fear, do not be afraid." After that, he felt a little better in his mind. Oh my goodness. So, are these demons? And if they're demons, how come the horse droppings are there? And who is the voice telling him, don't be afraid? Who is there protecting Master Shenzang? 哇，你看，如果那些境界是妖怪，怎么会有马粪在那个沙漠上？然后呢，这个说不要恐怖，不怕不怕，那个声音属于谁？近80余里见第一峰，恐后者见，乃引伏沙沟，至夜方发，到峰西捡水，下引灌收器，欲取皮囊盛水，有一箭撒来，其中有息，须臾更一箭来，至为塔箭，乃大言曰：“我是僧，诵经时来，如魔是我 ，Don't shoot。”即牵马向峰，峰上人已开门而出，相见之士僧，将入见教，为王降。Let's see，渐入教位王降，降命若火，令看曰：“非我何喜僧，是亦 今世来也。具问行义，法师报曰：教为颇闻凉州人说有僧宣藏欲向波罗门国求法否？答曰：闻成藏事以东还。何因到此？法师引示马上章书，记名字，仍乃信。let's see， 彼乃信仍言西路渐远，师众不达，尽亦不欲实罪。弟子敦煌人，欲送时向敦煌，必有将教法师亲贤上德，见势必喜，请就之。Okay, we got to keep our eye on the time here. Okay, let's see. 请就之. All right, we'll put it to there. Okay, here we go. After traveling a distance of more than 80 li, he came in sight of the first watchtower, and there are 5 of them. Fearing that he might be seen by the watchmen, he hid himself in a sandy ditch and remained there until nightfall. This is the great Dharma master, right? Then he came to the west of the tower where he saw water. He went down to have a drink and washed his hands, and when he was about to refill his water bag, an arrow whizzed through the air and nearly hit his knee. A moment later, another arrow was shot. Realizing he'd been seen, he said aloud, I am a monk from the capital, don't shoot. Raised his hands in the air, don't shoot. He led his horse to the tower where the watchman opened the door and came out to see him. Seeing that he was in fact a monk, they brought him to see the captain, Wang Xiang, who ordered a lamp lit so he could see the master. He said, he is not a monk from our region of Heshi. It looks like he really does come from the capital. So who is he? Then he inquired of the master, why was he here? The master said, didn't you hear that Liangzhou sent a notice that there was a monk called Xuanzang who was going to India to seek the Dharma? The captain answered, yeah, we heard about Master Xuanzang, but that he went back to the east. How come you're here? Master took from his horse the petition he had written to the emperor, in which his name was written on it, and said, here it is. The captain believed him, but said, the road to the west is long and perilous. You'll never get there. It's too dangerous, too far. I'm not going to arrest you, but I am from Dunhuang, so I'm going to send you back to my hometown, back to Dunhuang. There is a reverend teacher whose name is Zhang Jiao. He likes wise and virtuous people. I'm sure he will be delighted to meet you. So please go there, he says. That way, of course, the magistrate here, the garrison captain, is free of, he's not guilty of supporting the rule-breaking monk, Master Xuanzang. 这样做呢，这个王相就没有罪了。他不是说支持这个已经犯罪的和尚。法师对曰：藏桑自洛阳，少二慕道，两经之法之将，吾属一义之僧，吾不复及从之，穷其所解，对阳谈论，一田为始宗，欲阳以修明，起列谈阅敦煌也。然恨佛化竟有不周，亦有所缺，故无谈性命，不但兼为，是望西方尊求依法，谈阅不向立免，专劝退换岂为同厌烦恼尘劳，共述涅槃之因也。必于拘留，任机刑罚，藏众不动一步，一复闲心。想闻之，连然曰：弟子多幸，得风遇事， 感不随喜，是疲倦且卧，待命自诵，只是吐露，遂必言安之。All right, wow, what a story. The master said in reply, "My native place is Luoyang. I've admired the Dharma since I was young. I've studied under all the learned teachers of the two capitals and the talented monks in the regions of Wu and Shu. I've mastered all their knowledge. In explaining and discussing Buddhist teachings, I've had the honor to be ranked among contemporary teachers. If I were interested in gaining personal benefit and reputation, those places would not be inferior to Dunhuang, but it was because I regretted the Buddhist scriptures that I found were incomplete, the doctrines were not clear. I made a vow to go to the West to seek the bequeathed Dharma at a risk of my life. I didn't fear the hardships and dangers of the journey. Now, you don't encourage me, but tell me to go back. Can that be a cause for us to free ourselves from worldly suffering and to realize nirvana? If you have to stop me, I'm prepared to bear whatever punishment you might give me, but I will never go back a single step towards the east against my original intention." On hearing this, Captain Wang Xiang said with sympathy, "I'm really lucky I met you. How can I do otherwise than comply with your wishes? You must be tired. Take a rest till tomorrow. I'll send you off and show you the way personally." Whew. There we go. What a great story. Okay, man, this is, if this were a novel, well, and you know what? It was a novel. This is, it moves us the same way it moved Wu Chang'en, who turned this story into Xi You Ji, and all of the variations of Monkey King that followed. So we'll continue next week with more of the Avatamsaka Sutra and more of Master Xuanzang's biography. And I'll now let Dr. Rui Ye carry us forward. 就说这个故事呢，如果是小说，然后我自己打先插，是小说，感动明朝的吴承恩，感动我们这个一样的这个故事呢，这么一个法师就发这么大的心呢，就什么都不怕，就怕自己就不满他自己的愿力，所以呢，我们到现在读到了一样感动。好的，那么现在我们请 Professor Ye continue. When his talk is over, I will come back and we'll transfer merit. 好，那么Professor Ye 讲完了，我就回来回向功德。好的，好，阿弥陀佛。
Ray, you can start the talk now. You can unmute your microphone. I think everybody knows Dr. Ye, so I don't really need to introduce him. 我想大家都认得叶教授，所以不需要看怎么样的介绍，就请他开始讲我们的时间，因为在佛殿里头，我们9点要结束。So we are in the Buddha hall today, and we need to end the 9 o'clock. Please unmute your mic and start to speak. You are still muted.
Good evening, Venerable Master, Dharma Master Sure, Dharma Master Yong, all the Dharma Masters, and all the wise advisors. It's always a great honor, as well as very scary, to follow Dharma Master Sure, one of the greatest orators of this time. And I try my best. This evening, I'd like to share with you some reflections on the COVID-19 pandemic. 所以玄空上人、释法师、永法师、各位法师们、各位善知识， 我是清法，今天晚上在这里分享一点我对新冠疫情的一些反思。这个非常荣幸，也非常害怕，在司法师后面讲因为司法师是我最钦佩的一位法师，这个尤其是在讲法上面，他的有这么广的这个思维及他的有的时候他的音乐配起来简直是天衣无缝。Okay, I'm trying to get my slides working. First of all, I'd like to share some statistics about the pandemic. According to the World Health Organization statistic, the COVID-19 pandemic has killed more than 6,900,000 people worldwide. And in the United States, in the first year alone, 400,000 people died. But the scary thing is that the game is not over. The latest news indicates a new wave of COVID is surfacing in China with more than 65 million cases per week. So it's very scary. 先讲一些统计数字。这个据世界卫生组织的统计，新冠肺炎大流行病已经在全球造成超过6900万人的死亡。就是仅仅在美国第一年死亡人数就超过40万人。可是这个悲剧没有想象那么已经过去了，因为最新的消息在中国，每一周现在有6500万个案例在发生。我现在what I want to share with you is that I feel that two major effects of the pandemic. The first one is apathy. The second one is violence. All right, and I won't get into the detail, but we all know that. But the key is that apathy plus violence equal to loss of caring. And as we can see by the mass shootings and or stealing, all kinds of things happening in our society, we are gradually becoming an irresponsible society. This is the effect of the pandemic. 我想跟大家分享，就是新冠疫情对社会造成了2个非常大的影响，一个是冷漠，另外一个是暴力。这个最主要是冷漠加暴力等于失去关怀，我们失去了对彼此的支持和包容。因为这个样子，我们现在社会慢慢变成一个不负责任的社会，这个是非常可惜的。So, at this very moment in history, when many people feel tiny, powerless, and hopeless in the face of planetary problems, we need a whole new way to look at the problem. And this is time to learn about it from the wisdom in the Dharma. And I'd like to share with you 2 poems written by 2 great masters. And when the fifth patriarch were looking for his successor, he asked his disciples to write a poem describing their state of Dharma on the wall. So his top student, the first student, top student, Venerable Master Heng Sure, who later also become the counselor to the king, to the emperor of Tang Dynasty, wrote the following one. The body is like a Bodhi tree, and the heart is like a mirror. It needs to be wiped from time to time so as not to collect dust. Then the youngest disciple, who just came from South not long ago, saw the poem the next morning, so he wrote one too. He said, Bodhi is not a tree, and the mirror is not the sand. There's nothing to begin with. Where's the dust? And because of this poem, this youngest disciple become the successor and become the sixth patriarch. And my question so it's very clear the difference between the two poems, very different category. 我在这个历史的时刻，许多人面对地球的问题感到渺小、无力和绝望的时候，我们需要一个全新的方式来看待问题。这是学习佛法智慧的时候。那么，我想分享两首偈。在唐朝时候，当五祖大师要选他的继承人的时候，他请他的弟子们在墙上每个人写一首偈。他的大弟子神秀大师也是唐朝的国师，写了这么一首诗：身如菩提树，心如明镜台，时时须拂拭，莫使染尘埃。这是神秀大师写的。那么第二天早上，他最年轻的弟子从南部来的，看到这首偈，也写了一首：菩提本无树，明镜亦非台，本来无一物，何处染尘埃。因为这首偈，他就被选为五祖大师的继承人，他就变成六祖。那么各位看了这两首偈以后，有什么感想呢？这两首偈完全不同，是不同的格局。神秀大师这首偈，我自己觉得就是说很忙啊，每天都要很小心，在那擦，所以不把尘埃都擦掉。可是六祖这个偈是完全不同的感觉，本来无一物，何处染尘埃。所以我想从这里来，我们来看看这个，从这两首诗看，就是说，我想从六祖大师这首偈，我们可以so when we look at the two poems, the difference is very, very far. All right, and from the Six Patriarchs poem, you can see that it's very light. There's nothing there. All right, no worry, no nothing. And whereas the Heng Sure, Venerable Master Heng Sure, is very careful, very diligent, all right? And so I like to say that for my own interpretation, or the little I got, is that Heng Sure, the Six Patriarchs poem, express a kind of joy from the inner tranquility. Right? And I want to also introduce a phrase in a poem, a famous poem by famous poet Tao Yuanming, picking chrysanthemums under the eastern fence, leisurely seeing mountain on the south. All right, and that is sort of, you feel there's no weight on you, unlike most of us who are having a lot of weight because we have to make a daily living, we have to do this, do that, and fulfill responsibility and all that. And like the Six Patriarchs, there's no weight. There's only inner tranquility, the inner joy. All right. I'd like to share a little bit about our own cultivation during the last 3 years. Basically, Priscilla and I have stayed in my younger daughter's house in Redwood, 10 miles away from Ukiah. And we share a converted single-car garage room, about 430 square feet. And it serves as our Buddha hall, our living room, our study, our bedroom, kitchen, and bathroom. And during this period, we have stopped all social activities. We read sutras and hold on. And we bow to the Buddhas every day and participate full-time in almost all the Dharma event online. And during this period, we have finally found a lasting inner tranquility. And that also led to some physical changes, including I'm growing dark hair again, right? So that's very surprising at age 85. My gray hair are beginning to be replaced by dark hair again. So this, I think, is an expression of joy, no worry, and lightness, right? And我想分享的一下，就说这个从恒修大师、神秀大师跟六祖大师的两首偈里面，完全是不同的格局。在神秀大师的偈里面，非常小心，非常这个用力的去每天在那把这个尘埃擦掉。可是神秀大师的这个六祖大师的，至少给我的印象是很轻松啊，没什么事儿，就像陶渊明的名句啊，他有“采菊东篱下，悠然见南山”，多轻松啊，完全没有压力。那么我想分享一下我们过去3年来，我跟我的同修住在基本上我们小女儿家，住在一个从一个车间改成的一个房间，有大概430平方英尺，它也是我们的佛堂、客厅、书房、卧室、厨房跟浴室。可是在这个期间里面，我们完全停止所有的社交活动，我们每天念经礼佛，全程参加。 网上的法会。在这个期间，我们发现了一种持久的内心的宁静，然后这个宁静也导致了一些健康上的变化，包括我本来的满头白发，现在慢慢又变成黑头发比较多，这是一个85岁，我觉得这个是非常奇妙的神迹。可是我觉得就是说，因为你放松了，所以其他事情也就好办。我再分享一下我的妹妹叶蕾蕾。Let me just share also my sister Lily Ye's search for the so-called dustless world. Lily is an artist, and after she graduated from the graduate school, she became a full-time artist. And full-time artist means you do your artwork and sell to the public. Hopefully, some museum will purchase your product. But she found it very unsatisfactory. She admired the artists from the Song Dynasty, which talk about a dustless world, as shown in this picture. So what did she do? She go around the world, go to the poorest community, and helping them to restart. And this is a picture in her early days in the northern Philadelphia slum. This is where the site, and this is where it became, all right, with the help of initially poor kids from the neighborhood. And I was there for 1 week during this project as a volunteer. And one day, a whole big bus came in, and out come the full members of the Philadelphia Eagle professional football team to volunteer to help out. Just imagine those poor kids seeing the fantastic football players, all right? What kind of jubilation they have. But what happened to Lily is that she found the dustless world in those poorest places, because there was nothing to begin with, all right? And as such, she found the meaning of life. She's been traveling all over the world over the last 4 decades, from US to Africa. And she found new meaning, new energy, and in the sense, if you look at the point of the 6th patriarch, you see that lightness in her finding. And as Mother Teresa said, after St. Peter, she said, Mother Teresa said, you can finding God among the poor. 我现在要分享一个，就是我妹妹叶蕾蕾，她是一个画家，她毕业以后一直在做这个画画就是画画，然后卖给画廊或者卖给这个博物馆，虽然他也是一个教授，可他觉得他不非常感觉这种生活不满意，所以他希望找到宋朝北宋艺术家所谈的无尘世界。他找了半天找不到，结果他后来在最穷的地方找到了，所以他在全世界到处都到最穷的地方 然后帮助他们从头建起。就像这个是在Philadelphia 的这个一个最穷的地方，这是原来的地方。后来当地的小朋友帮助他教他们画画，做这个 mosaic， 然后把这地方整个改编。然后他觉得在这个最穷的地方，他找到了无尘世界。为什么无尘世界？就像六祖的偈里面说的一样，本来无一物，何处有尘埃。这个特蕾莎修女也说过同样的话，她说在穷人中看见上帝。对我来说，这个就是一种内在的提升，因为你内在提升，然后带来外在的转变。他因为内在的提升，所以蕾蕾他现在已经超过80岁了，还在做这个事情。我本来一直想跟他到非洲去做，我说我现在跑不动了，没办法了。可是他这个，因为他找到了他心中最喜欢的东西，所以他的这个能量好像无穷尽。所以根据雷雷跟就像神秀法师跟神秀大师跟六祖大师的这个经验，就是说，我觉得是这个based on the past experience, and given we are becoming a real irresponsible society, we need to reclaim our responsible society. And I think is through the inner transcendence. If we study Buddhism, we can achieve inner transcendence, and that inspires outer transformation, like my sister Lily have done, and all the great Dharma masters have achieved. And in a sense, we can look at the popular word meditation is a translation of Pali word bhavana, which means cultivation. And the term suggests hope. A field can always be cultivated, harvested. Indeed, gardening could be regarded as the personification of Buddhism in action, in that the Dharma as the expression of wisdom to nourish the collective environment, the garden. Cultivation, of course, is a long journey of continuously breaking the self-limiting assumption to realize that we are all interconnected, both in time and space. As such, we understand our actions, like gardening, will affect the collective environment. I'd like to suggest 2 recent books by 2 distinguished members of the DRBA. And one's the book Responsible Living by Professor Ron Epstein, and in the sense of how you should apply ethics in everything you do, whether you are personally or in an organization. The other is by Professor John Wu. The book title is called Many Lives, Many Times, with a subtitle, An Untold Story of Why the Pandemic and Karma are Happening in the World. It's a very interesting. Professor Wu's book came out first in Vietnamese version last year. In its first year, it sold more than 1 million copies. And the English version just came out, and it's been translated into Chinese version in Taiwan and China, as well as Russian and other languages right now. So if you people have interest, I recommend you look at these two books to look at the so-called application of Buddhism to reclaiming our responsible society. 我们刚刚强调，这个用佛法来改变，这个社会，这个我们流行词这个勉强是巴利语单词 bhavana 的翻译，意思是修行。这个词暗示希望，因为一块田地可以被耕种，不断的增强、丰富发展，以产生有利和有营养的收成。事实上，园艺可以被视为佛法里面行动中佛法行动中的化身，因为佛法能滋润大环境，园艺是智慧的一种表达。修行是一个漫长的旅程，这个旅程是不断打破我们自我限制的假设，以认识到我们在时间和空间上都是互相连在一起的。因此，我们了解我们的行为就像园艺一样，会影响大环境。我介绍两本书，是我们法界两位教授所写的，一位是Ron Epstein 教授写的《负责任的生活》，在这种书里面，他谈到如何把这个佛法的规则运用到自己的每个人的身体力行里面，同时也在公司里面同样用到，所以这个我们来影响整个大环境。另外一个是蒋悟教授，他的书的名字我翻译成中文是多事多次，他的副标题是一个不为人知的故事，为什么世界上会发生新冠疫情和因果报应。吴教授的书是一个第一版是去年出来，去年初出来的，以越南文先出来，因为他本来是从越南来的。这本书去年卖了超过100万本。那么这本书的英文版今年也刚刚出来，同时在中文版在台湾跟大陆都在翻译，也有俄文版及其他文字同时都在翻译，所以大家有兴趣的话，可以参考这两本书。So I want to talk about how do we reclaim our responsible society. And as an example, I like to talk about the joy of working in a living organization. All right, because talking about reclaiming involve all kinds of dimensions. I want to talking about because organizations are now considered mostly as machines, like in the left. And what I like to suggest is organization should be like a flow. All right.
So your time is up. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I won't go into the further details. All right. But I want to talk about living organization bring meaning to both its customer in terms of valuable information along the way before product and service are delivered, as well as creating meaningful money for the employees. 所以我们假如要重新把 我们的拉回来一个负责任的社会，我用这个活组织做一个例子，因为一般组织都把这个组织变成看成一个机器，可是活组织是把整个流动性的整个公司整个组织是一个流动性的，这资金、知识、工作种种来看这个组织的话，这个组织就是活的，它有这个活组织的好处，它可以对它的客户带来很多有用的信息，同时呢，为他的员工创造有益的金钱。可是我没办法，今天时间太短，很抱歉，没有办法这个继续讲下去。所以希望这一点分享有一点帮忙对大家，谢谢大家，阿弥陀佛。
就说Ray，我们感恩哈，那个真的身体力行呢，就自己去做了跟 Priscilla 一起不容易啊，真的不简单哈，所以给我们做榜样。Want to appreciate Professor Ye's personal example of how to actually go and do, how to put the principles into practice together with Priscilla. It's very difficult to do, and you did it. You're doing it, so want to appreciate role models when they appear. Let us transfer the merit and virtue right now. 我们现在回向功德哈 ，Make a wish. 我们现在回向啊。Make sure the original sound is on. There we go. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds away to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward, may all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. And then before we're done, we can bow to the Buddha. Please join me. First bow. Second bow. And a third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. All right, that's going to do it for us for this week. 阿弥陀佛, see you next week.